Welcome to another edition of the Sports One. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Report. And today it is the Barnes and Tony Show. And we're also correct. Joined by Renee and Michael from the couch.
Yeah.
Good to have them in the mix as well. And it's good vibes. It has been such a long time, Tony, since we've sat in these seats and both the Yankees and the Mets have won. And specifically the Yankees, because you think they had, before last night they had lost 11 out of 13. Mm-hmm. So the last time was, I remember talking about this on the show with you, was when they beat Seattle and Wandy Peralta ran to first. Doesn't that seem like 2 months ago?
It does seem so long ago, dude.
Because the win at Fenway, that was over the weekend. So obviously we weren't on the air. So it's just a great vibes all around. I'm sure you can't wait to talk about the Mets as well.
Oh yeah, dude.
They had a great game. And just before we get into that, just wanted to update everybody on the BMW Championship, Wilmington, Delaware today. Right now, a lot of guys haven't teed off yet, but we have Harold Varner III, always one of Tony's favorites.
Harold Varner.
Tied at 2 under with Chris Kirk and Kurt Kitayama. And just keep in mind, too, this event, with 70 golfers, no cut, so everybody makes it through the weekend, and we'll give you another update before the end of the show. But just wanted to mention that. But we know we're riled. It's New York baseball, baby. Let's go to the world of Major League Baseball.
2-2, he got him swinging. A back-to-back strikeouts for Robbie Ray.
There's damage right there. Shohei, way, Sayonara. Where did that land?
Stuck to Chapman, who leaps up and grabs it.
Story spins and fires. Out at first.
There it goes. See ya. Home run, Aaron Judge.
All right, Tony. What a night it was in New York as the Yankees walk it off. And Josh Donaldson is probably still going to be batting fourth. We'll get to that in a second. Yankees 8-7 in 10 innings. And what the game, the ups, the downs. And it started out, as one of those games where it's like, here we go again. And it was funny. We were scoreless, I think, through 2 innings. And my uncle texted
a little
me
bit of that.
But obviously we're going to texted me about the Mets. And, we'll talk about this in a second. But, the rookie first pitch home run. And it was
second pitch,
whatever it was.
First at bat.
And I'm just like, I can't take this. I can't take this right now. It's like I'm listening to Dave. Anyway, they hadn't scored any runs in third inning. Herman gets in a little trouble, giving up a double to Diaz. So the Rays took a 1-0 lead. Yankee bats still silent through the 5th. Diaz doubles again, 2-run double to make it 3-0. And then, they pull, Herman, he doesn't get through 5. So he goes 4 2/3, 5 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. And then Lucas Licky gives up a home run to Harold Ramirez. So that makes it 4-0 Rays through 5.5 innings. And I am just like
the
absolutely had it
falling. Tony.
Exactly. I'm texting all my Yankee friends here saying, I don't even know what to say anymore. This is insane. Are they just never going to have a good offensive game again? And I was very surprised to see a Gleyber Torres, 2-run homer to left in the bottom of the 6th inning, scoring Aaron Judge. So it was like, all right, 4-2. We're definitely in the game, but obviously we've seen with the Yankees, runs have been very, very, hard to come by. So it was no guarantee that they would be able to catch up and tie the game at 4. But luckily for them, in the 7th inning, they load the bases, and Aaron Judge on 4 pitches ends up walking in a run. That was Pete Fairbanks who walked it in. And it was funny right after, Gleyber, the good feels that homer to left, first pitch after he throws 4 straight balls to Aaron Judge, grounds into a double play, ends the inning. And I was like, oh my God, 4-3. We had a chance to break it wide open there. What's Gleyber doing? How does he not take a pitch after 4 straight out of the zone? So that was, definitely tough to take. And actually, I mean, this shouldn't come to a surprise to anybody. I saw a stat, I believe it's 11 double plays grounded into by the Yankees with the bases loaded, leads the major leagues, and Gleyber Torres and Aaron Hicks, I think, might be 1 and 2 on that list, which is just unbelievable. So, that made it 4-3. Bullpen, continued to do its job, between Trevino, Ron Marinaccio, lights out once again, inning and 2/3, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts.
No blood, no foul there.
And then, Scott Efro comes in to relieve him, and he shuts the door as well. Was definitely pumped up, and despite giving up that home run, I believe it was in St. Louis, after that Boston save he had on Saturday night, he's kind of really honed in. So that made it 4-3 going to the bottom of the 8th, and Anthony Rizzo, it had been such a long time, homers to right, and tying up the game at 4. So that really put a rise into the crowd.
Wow.
And and then Scott Efros, slams the door, top of the 9th, and even gets an out in the 10th. Yankees tried to rally in the bottom of the 9th, and just couldn't get the job done. And it was a shame. Aaron Judge just missed it.
You're not doing your job.
Homer, we got some good ones now. We definitely have some good ones. Hit a ball to center, probably was 10 feet short of going out. So we were on to extra innings. Obviously, you start with the ghost runner on. Efros gets the job done, ground out to third to start the top of the 10th. And then I couldn't believe they did this. 1 out in the 10th, they go to Aroldis Chapman. And besides the fact, sure, Chapman has had this really good stretch of getting runners out. I mean, getting anybody out. I think it was his last 9 appearances, but it's just like middle of an inning, runner on second. Why are we doing this? Because I don't know what it is, but and maybe it's because he's easy to steal, and I don't know, but it's so hard for him not to focus on the runner. It gets in his head. He was obviously out of rhythm. I believe he threw.
Did he throw to the runner a lot?
He threw twice over to the runner. He threw 10 out of 11 pitches for balls to start the inning. So that loaded the bases. He gets a strikeout, and then up comes the catcher for the Rays, Mejia, and he has him 0-2. It seems like he's found his control. The previous, batter, Siri, he had struck out with a slider. So you felt pretty good. He throws 2 fastballs to start the at-bat. I think Mejia just looked at him. So it's 0-2. He throws it 101 miles an hour, bottom third of the zone, and Mejia, late on it purposely, rips it the other way, past Rizzo down the line, empties the bases. So 3-run score. And here we are, we're 1 strike away, from going to the bottom of the 10th and just needing not even a hit to score 1 run and win this game. And it was just so deflating. You couldn't believe it. And, I was about to go to bed. It was, probably 11:45 roughly. And I'm just like, if there wasn't a ghost runner on second, I probably would have called it. But it's like, starting the inning, runner on second, no outs. You need 3 runs. You never know what'll happen. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'll give this a shot here. And so, Judge started on second, because he had flown out, to end the previous inning. Gleyber Torres, it was like the first or second pitch, opposite field single. So we've finally seen some signs of life out of Gleyber. That was huge to start that inning. So then you had first and third, Anthony Rizzo up. And obviously the first thing that came to everybody's mind was, all right, I mean, Rizzo up, 1 swing of the bat, tie ball game, we're back in this. But he actually walks on 4 straight pitches to load the bases. And then, you've played the sound bites, and he wasn't batting cleanup this game. But Josh Donaldson comes to the plate and absolutely flails at the first pitch. I mean, looks so bad. And I'm just like, oh my God. I mean, I just hope that he strikes out and doesn't like tap back to the pitcher, double play. That'll be just a complete disaster. I think he took one other pitch for a ball, and then it was a fastball up, maybe even out of the strike zone, but he just rips it opposite field, grand slam, walk-off home run, and right away he flips the bat and, kind of showboats. But hey, listen, I mean, everybody was just so excited, and finally the Yankees' misery is ended as they get a win here, 8-7. I think they had lost their previous at least 3 or 4 extra inning games and hadn't scored any runs in extra innings. So they put up 8 on the board. Donaldson obviously has been a non-factor all season. And Josh Donaldson is probably still going to be batting 4th. And luckily he was batting 5th because that set him up for a grand slam.
Oh, my God.
So he walks it off. And I mean, it was just such a moment. It was a shame. A lot of fans had left. It was around 12 o'clock when this happened. So because there was a rain delay. So not everybody got to experience it, but the people that were there, everybody's on their feet. You could see how excited the dugout was, to see all those smiles that we hadn't seen, these past couple weeks or even longer than that. Everybody was so amped up. You saw Donaldson when he went back to the dugout, like giving Glaber this like intense hug, saying like, we're back. And it was even nice, and obviously, I've ripped Donaldson plenty of times, but it was just a good moment. I guess his uncle, a couple days prior, he had said they did the post-game interview, had a heart attack and was recovering. So he gave a special shout out to him. Nice. So that was a feel-good moment. And just like, I mean, it was just so unexpected. And listen, I know there's still a lot of naysayers out there. Greg Giannotti, who's a complete joke from WFAN. But it's just like, you know what? You need stuff like this. You need high morale. And I just think this sets up perfectly. You're still at home for another 6 games, 4 big ones with the Blue Jays. You could really bury them, at least take 3 out of 4. And then we know the Subway Series, everybody's going to be amped up for that next Monday and Tuesday. So just really a great night in the Bronx and just well needed. And it was just ironic too. The 2 youngsters, Florial and Cabrera, both go 0 for Cabrera, 0 for 4, Florial 0 for 2. LeMahieu had a pinch hit for him in I believe it was, the 8th inning. So they didn't make an impact in that regard, but I think, just the excitement of having them up, I think, played a big part here. So I'm sure they're going to get a lot of opportunities. And Cabrera, was very energized, pumped up for his first roll call. He started at third base, and his first at bat just missed a home run, got under it a little bit to right field. And Florial had a very nice catch to save 2 runs. I think it was in the 8th inning. Came in on it quick. So excited to see them get some more reps. It was nice to see LeMahieu, get in this game, even just though it was a pinch hitter. And he's going to be in the lineup tonight. So that's just going to pay huge dividends. And it was just much needed. And I think it's all about going forward, continuing this. But I just think these are the type of games that started running. While they haven't proven anything yet, because they need a good stretch here, this is how you start. And I don't think they could have started really any better way. There's nothing more exhilarating and more uplifting than a walk-off grand slam of all things, especially after you felt like you completely blew it with Chapman there in the top half of the inning.
Yeah, I would agree. You think Chapman, no good, anytime, anywhere.
So my thought is here,
sayonara.
Got him.
Man.
Got some good sound bites, Brian.
So I guess I'm kind of split, but I guess what I would say is regular season, we know Efros will close. I think we're going to need Chapman to close, but I think the biggest thing with him, obviously, pressure situations, of course, we've seen a meltdown, but I think we just can't bring him in the middle of an inning or with runners on.
So then what's the point?
Well, the point being, I'm saying like he's going to be on the team. We're going to use him. So I'm saying I think, Efros, especially if we get some close games down the stretch, he can't close every game. We're going to need Chapman, but we got to be careful where we use him. I mean, that's it. We know he's as good as gone after this season,
right?
But we got to utilize him as best as we can. And, I think the thing with him, he's very in his head. So I think that runner on ruins it. High pressure situations in the playoffs ruin it. So I think, we'll see Afros and hopefully Clay Holmes get back in the mix
Yeah.
after gets off the injured list. So I just think let's just pump the brakes here for a
Right.
second, not bring him in the middle of innings and have him be a setup guy for right now. And really, actually, I wouldn't be surprised as well if Marinaccio ends up being the closer by the time the season's
dude.
over. I mean, his stuff is ridiculous.
Ridiculous. So basically, though, you can't use Chapman when it kind of matters.
It's not that for a say. All I'm saying is I don't want him in the playoffs just because of the past, nothing to do with last night. But I'm full confidence, clean inning, 7th inning, 8th inning. I think he'll be great for that. I just think the 9th, he's just, I don't know. I guess he's mentally scarred, if that makes any sense.
No, it does.
That's just kind of how I see it. And I think there's, plenty of horses. And like I said, I mean, I think Marinaccio is going to be the guy that ends up, seizing that 9th inning role, unless we see the old Clay Holmes come back regarding the Yankees. But yeah, and Giannotti too on the radio was talking about how bad the bullpen is. It's like, Marinaccio is the only guy. Like, he hasn't seen Efros pitch. It's like, Gio, you don't even watch the games. Like, stop talking about it. You literally know nothing.
You're not doing your job.
I think I would rather listen to Stephen A. talk about baseball than
Oh,
Greg
don't
Giannotti.
stop.
I swear to
Come
God,
on,
he's an idiot. I'm sorry, he's an idiot.
Stephen A. is an idiot.
No.
Did you hear Stephen A.? Did you hear his
Tony,
rant?
I tagged you in it.
And what, on Twitter?
Yeah.
I don't go on Twitter.
No, I know. Yeah, Twitter's where it's at. I've been getting
Apparently,
fired up
dude.
the last couple of days.
I tweeted from the sports report last night. You guys didn't see it though.
So did I. No, I saw it. I thought it was bad. No, honestly, I think we had all 3 of us tweeting from the sports report because I had a bunch of tweets too.
Brett Batty?
Oh yeah, I kind of missed that one. The Mets played last night. So
You
anyway,
fucking kidding me? Yankees suck, dude. It was
But yeah,
all luck,
Stephen
dude. It was
A,
all luck.
I mean, really a complete disgrace to sports media in general.
Yo,
Talking
literally,
about
bro.
Hank Steinbrenner yesterday. The guy's died 2.5 years ago. I mean,
That's who you were talking about?
yeah.
Hank Steinbrenner.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that is a complete embarrassment. You're going to get all fired up and on a rant. You don't even know the guy's name. And then there's no one in his ear correcting him. What is that?
I don't understand. I missed that part. He was talking about Hank.
Yeah, he was just saying that he's got to do better. He's a disgrace. He meant to say Hal, but he said Hank, it's his brother who was, they were co-owners.
Right.
And then 2.5 years ago, like right around COVID time, Hank passed away.
Yeah.
And he just kept saying Hank.
Oh, no shit. He
Yeah.
kept saying it over. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
He said it.
I mean, what an embarrassment.
I mean, I guess I didn't really listen to the whole thing. Dude, when he started talking about his family in the Bronx, I took the D train. I know the Bronx.
Yeah. No,
like, what are you fucking saying?
I think the best thing for ESPN would be if they just cut ties with him right now, because you know what, and I know it's me. I got to change my settings or whatever, but I'll literally get a notification about Stephen A's take on something. And it's like, get this off my phone. Like, they're acting like because he says something and he's making a prediction that has any relevance. I mean, he's a joke. I just don't want him anywhere near my TV screen.
Dude, did you hear the only player he mentioned yesterday was Aaron Judge?
Right, that's the other part.
He mentioned nothing else about the Yankees, like the team. Nothing about the players.
He doesn't watch the games.
He doesn't watch the games. He doesn't. He's just saying that they suck. That's what he said. He went on a 2-minute rant that included, obviously, talking about Hank Steinbrenner, and then talking about his life in the Bronx, and then saying the Yankees are a disgrace.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Complete joke.
Complete joke.
But let's not let that take away, from the great night that we saw.
No, we should. We should let it take away.
In the Bronx last night. And the one other thing I was going to add here, some good news. Stanton, I guess, we'll get a rehab game or 2 in over the weekend and then come back next week. So that's going to be, a welcomed addition to this lineup. And hopefully we'll see a Marwin Gonzalez DFA, because, I mean, it's just insane that he's on this roster. He got in the game last night. I think he's over his last 24. And then Aaron Hicks, too, pinched hit for Connor Falefa in the bottom of the 9th. I mean, that's a joke, too.
You're not doing your job.
He fouled the ball off his foot. So let's use this as a time to put him on the injured list. Use that as a phantom injury. There is no benefit in Aaron Hicks being on this team. I don't care what they have to say. Harrison Bader will be back here at some point. Let's get Florio some run. Stanton can play some outfield when he's back. We need Hicks off this team. I mean, he is a complete disgrace. As big of a disgrace as Stephen A. Smith is, honestly.
Wow, dude.
But yeah, so I mean,
dude, who's that young dude that they're bringing up? What's his name? Michael mentioned it this morning.
Oh, Cabrera.
Scranton. Oh, yeah.
He played
Cabrera.
last night.
Yeah.
He was over 4, but everybody's riled for him. You could just tell he looks like a player. And obviously the hope is, because we've seen the Yankees be very impatient here before with Andujar all the time. Is just let him get his reps. Even if he goes over his first 20, I don't care. I want him in the lineup. He plays third, short, and second.
Oh,
but he played third base last night.
Interesting. Yeah.
But he's definitely way better fielder than Donaldson. So Donaldson wants to DH for now. Obviously, he had his moment. Let him DH. But he should be on a leash as well when
Stanton comes back too. Yeah, you're out, dude.
Exactly.
You're gone.
Exactly.
Sayonara.
But yeah, so it just
Sayonara,
nice to
Tony.
finally recap a win here, and I think this series with Toronto is huge.
Wow,
and I do think this is going to carry over, and the guys are going to have some confidence. Some confidence here. They're like, wow, all right, we were in the hole. We were down 4-0.
Wow.
We were down 4-2. We were down 4-3.
Wow.
We were down 7-4.
Wow.
And we came back. So there's no reason why we can't keep this up. And I think that's what they're going to do. And I think the pitching matchup tonight in the Bronx really favors them. They have Frankie Montas
Had a little
on
bit
the
of
hill, panic attack.
Come on, you're a little nervous about Frankie
versus Barrios. I mentioned that yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they should absolutely tattoo him. Blue Jays hitters are cold. So I think they're due for a pitcher to kind of shut out the other team. Not that they haven't had some good starts, but literally 7 innings, no runs. I really do feel like they're due for that. And I could be mistaken, but I believe this is Montas's Yankee Stadium debut as a Yankee.
Really?
Because I think he started in Fenway and then he started in St. Louis.
Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense.
So yeah. Other than that, all is good for now. We'll talk about tonight's matchup in a little bit. But I know Tony is very anxious to talk about Brett Beatty, the Mets, the win, the monkey off their back.
Anyway, before we get to the Mets, though, Buffer just is chiming in here. First thing he says, I disagree with, by the way, Buffer. He goes, Mets, good win last night, but it wasn't pretty. Got lucky. I'll address that in a second. But
me and Buffer are always in lockstep, I feel.
But then he says, you got a camera, auto moving on the rail. Very nice addition. Look at that, dude.
Yeah. So our guy
Barge doesn't like it.
No, I love it.
No, Barge doesn't like it. He's got to move his head while he's talking now.
Everybody knows, they could tell by the type of broadcast that we have all the top equipment here. And that, when you have top people, top equipment, that's what it's all about. And
top
we have
results.
the best team in the world here. Yeah. Downtime TV. Don't forget it.
All right, dude. Let's get to the Mets, bro. Let's do it. Brian, did you watch the game last night?
No. Once my uncle texted me that Beatty had homered, I was so excited I turned it on.
Wow, dude. So this is why the Yankees aren't going to go anywhere.
Oh man, it's nothing to do with the Mets, Tony. All right,
These guys be happy for someone else.
You know what it is.
I just don't have it in me.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. Hey, everybody saw the reel, and if you haven't, it's on the YouTube page as well as the Instagram. The Mets stuff can be worrying sometimes, but listen, last night I have to say, Beatty and just being a tight back and forth game, it was interesting, and I think they deserve some credit there for hanging in there and getting the offense going. I'm not going to deny that, but let's talk about how we got there, Tony.
Okay, Brian. Okay, so Mets come out hot. Okay, first inning, we have back-to-back home runs off of Marte and Lindor to start the game. Obviously, we talked about it yesterday. Striking while the iron is hot early. Obviously is something good, and it gives you good momentum. Takes pressure off the pitcher. We see it when Walker struggles a little bit when he's kind of behind on the scoreboard here. But the Mets come out there hot. Obviously, with the lack of their offense in the past couple of games against the Braves, and how good Charlie Morton was doing everything. I'm sure there was a lot of murmuring about how the Mets are going to be able to produce. They come out there hot with two big names, big guys, big home runs. Obviously, great start to the game. And then second inning, I don't want to say I called it yesterday, but I did call it yesterday that Brett here, whatever, home run, his Met debut. And he did, dude. I think he looked at it, took one pitch. I think it was a fastball, maybe a little high over the middle of the plate. And then the second pitch curveball, and he just sat on it. Like, what a G. Waited for the curveball. I guess somehow just expected it to come. and absolutely rips one deep right center field. His family was in the crowd, obviously. They cut to him. They're crying. It's a happy occasion. Brett is absolutely just lit up. You see it in his face. Totally outstanding, excitement, whatever, dude. Obviously, a great experience. I believe the 5th player in MLB history to hit a home run in his first major league at bat.
You know who
Was the last one?
No, you know who are 2 of those? Do you know?
Who?
Aaron Judge and Tyler Austin.
Oh, really?
I was watching the game. Mark, who you met, we were at my
Mhm.
parents' house at the time. That was 6 years ago. And literally back to back, Tony.
Mhm.
And even Sterling just off the rip had the judging blast. And he was so caught off guard by Tyler Austin, didn't even have a home run call. And it was just so, to see 2, I don't know if we'll ever see that again. 2 guys making their debut first at bat. One
it's
at bat
crazy.
is hard enough. And it's just interesting, like, I don't think there's been a parallel. Obviously, Judge has had a great career, but where we've seen a lot of like really good guys do that. So it's just so rare, and it's just such a special moment. And I just can't even imagine what that feels like. So Batty, especially because I feel like, he's probably felt in his mind he should have been called up months ago.
Oh, yeah.
So to finally get this opportunity and then just off the rip hit one out, I think that's great. And, we'll get back to the summary in a second. I'm just curious your thoughts. I mean, obviously it's one game. We don't know, moving forward, but do you feel like just, knowing that and knowing what he's in the minors, that he's got to be out there every day? Like, this is somebody we can build on. Like, what do you feel like here?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're looking at the guy. First of all, he's 22 years old. I think he's something like 6'3", like 200 pounds. He's a great size. Obviously, young enough for someone to be like, hey, this could be our future, this kid. And, again, obviously it shows a lot of grit and, I guess someone who's naturally comfortable in the league to obviously, be sitting on a curveball, good swing, nice, fluid, calm. That's a great attitude to start off with. Obviously, you need a couple more games under his belt to see how he did. He ended up going 1 for 4 in the night. But he made some good plays in the infield, no shakes there, anything like that. He was making the easy plays. He was looking good. Like I said, he looks comfortable, which is something you want from a young kid like that being in the majors, especially on, a team like the Mets it's not like, oh, this is just me trying to like see what I can do. Like nothing really matters. Like this Mets are a contending team here, especially to come up against the Braves as well. Big series. I would imagine, he definitely, thinking about some type of pressure on him to perform. So yeah, totally. Again, like I said, 1 for 4, debut. It's not terrible. Obviously, he made his impact on the scoreboard here. So yeah, I would say absolutely someone we can build upon.
Yeah. And I haven't seen anything on this. How is he with the glove?
In terms of just like,
is he, a plus defender, average? Like, what are they?
In the minors, he's pretty average.
Okay.
I would say.
So he could possibly be a DH potentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we'll see how maybe they can develop him at third base a little bit.
Yeah. So I mean, it's always nice. I mean, the Mets, I have to say, not that they have a ton of guys that are homegrown, but if you're comparing to like what the Yankees do, I mean, you look at their lineup from last night. Nimmo's homegrown, Alonso's homegrown, McNeil's homegrown, and Batty's homegrown. So that's good amount of your lineup, and that must be refreshing to see, because I feel like those guys have been around for a couple of years, so it's been a little bit since they've had someone come up and actually stabilize themselves as a starter in the lineup.
Oh yeah, for sure. So that's obviously a breath of fresh air. Finally seeing them call someone up too, and actually using them here. Obviously, I would like to see them call up Alvarez. McCann went, I think, 0 for 4 last night.
Yeah,
with a strikeout. He's batting like 170 or 150.
Who's that guy, Perez? They have?
Yeah, the 31-year-old dude from like Pittsburgh or wherever it was, Miami. Maybe.
Let's get him in there.
Let's get him in there. Sure, dude. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
gotta call up Alvarez next. That was definitely something that I'm looking forward to, is for them. I mean, dude, like, especially now they'd be, oh wow, Brett's working out. Like, let's call up Alvarez too. Like, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, because you never know. He could have a Vaughn Grissom type impact.
Exactly.
You impressed with him?
Oh yeah, of course. I think he did strike out in the 9th last night. Right?
So no strikeouts. Actually, 2 for 4, 3 RBIs.
Maybe it was Grossman then.
Grossman did have a strikeout. He did homer earlier in the game.
But yeah, obviously, I mean, we talked about the Braves and their ability to bring up guys and have confidence in them and everything like that. Obviously, the Braves are really good at that. But I guess just to get to the pitching for the Mets real quick, Max Scherzer obviously on the mound. The Braves, I believe there was 2 rain delays last night for this game. Which is pretty crazy. Kind of sucks. You know, it's been happening in back-to-back games. I don't understand, like, why? Like, where's the weather report guy? Because don't they normally either like push up games or push back games sometimes right away to avoid the in the middle of the game rain delay? Like, why aren't they doing that here?
I feel like though that's more so on the weekend because I just think during the week, let's say we're supposed to rain at night, they're not going to put it at 1 o'clock because especially last second, no one's going to go to the game. But on the weekend, it's a little different. You're kind of tied up for the day anyway. 1 o'clock game. Oh, okay, we'll be at 7. Not a big deal. But yeah, I think and also, I mean, so that kind of annoys me. Did you feel that they didn't need to delay it like the second time, or it could have just been like that part, like in terms of having multiple delays, or they had no choice? Like,
no, they definitely needed to delay it twice because they came back out and it was fine, but then it started pouring again, and you could literally see it on camera, like it is downpouring. And obviously, people in the stands are all going to the back of the stadium, like whatever. But obviously, you think of Max Scherzer, obviously someone who's a little bit of an older pitcher, someone who, once you warm up, you don't want to be just sitting around in the cold rain, getting cold again, then go back out there, try to warm up again. And it's like, I don't know if you saw Brian, but he was an absolute madman during the rain delays. He was like pacing around the mound while the groundskeepers were like brushing the sand and shit.
You think he kind of has like a Dan Campbell routine with the Starbucks with like throwing a couple espresso shots?
Yeah, like 4. Got 4 of them before I start.
That's how I start the day.
Dude, it is so because you look at Scherzer and he's like any day. It's like he's funny, making jokes in the dugout. He's eating seeds. On a day where he's starting, you can't fucking talk to him.
Yeah.
It's just.
And you know what the interesting thing with him is? When he first came up, he was with Arizona, was kind of splitting time between starting and relieving. Didn't have the best start of his career. And even in Detroit, didn't see this guy.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he goes to the Nationals and is just a complete legend, Hall of Famer.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I prefer a couple comments here. He goes, we were up 6-1. Then Atlanta bats got a little too close to comfort. Mets bullpen are all bums. And then he says, plus Scherzer's recovering from an ab problem. I'm sure Scherzer's still maybe, lingering issue, I'm sure. But in terms of the bullpen, I mean, they didn't do a terrible job. Scherzer ended up, kind of going 6 1/3. Again, you can tell, like, just towards the end there. I mean, he threw 91 pitches, and I think just the 2 start and stop delays kind of like messed with him a little bit.
You think that's why he gave up those runs in the 7th?
Yeah. I think he was tired. Maybe
are his abs okay?
Yeah, I mean that's what he was out for a while ago. Was
But I mean, do you see anything out there that it looks like that's bothering him?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes. Just because he's like, I'm okay, But I would imagine it's got to be lingering because you can even tell. Even when he started the game, honestly, his control was a little bit like off. And I guess it took him a little, like probably the first inning or 2 to kind of get it a little more dialed in. And I would imagine, at his age, I mean, an ab issue probably lingers for a while, and he's been pitching a lot. I mean, he's probably averages like 95 pitches an outing, 7 innings he's been doing the past few times. Like,
and I mean, geez, I mean, I think come the postseason, I mean, you could mark him down for 120.
Yeah. And dude, it's kind of crazy. We talked about his average velocity, right? It was like 94, 95.
Yeah.
There's some pitches when he gets behind his fastball, it ticks up like 97.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
which is like, where the hell is that coming from?
Yeah. I think it's, especially older pitchers, veterans, they don't throw with maximum force. And, I think, unfortunately, like a reason why is kind of what you see out of Jacob deGrom. I mean, you're not usually be able to go maximum exertion and not have it catch up with you at some point.
Once you're Jacob deGrom.
The last 2 years, yeah.
Well, he's fine now. Anyway, Edwin Diaz came out, trumpets 1 inning, I think 2 Ks. 10 pitches thrown, 8 of them were strikes. I mean, he's still on fire. ERA is a 1.30.
Listen, Edwin Diaz is having a outstanding year, but trumpets, Tony. I mean, in all seriousness, because I know it. Of course, I'm always like critiquing something with the Mets, but I just don't understand why trumpets, like for a closer. I don't know. It just seems like there should be something more like intense because it's like they're coming in there, especially Edwin Diaz. We know he's throwing hard. Why trumpets? It just doesn't seem like it matches up. Where did that come from?
I don't know. I mean, it seems like a Spanish type of song. I mean, he's from Puerto Rico, so maybe it was like a Puerto Rican thing. Obviously, he's into trumpets, I guess. But I mean, hey, what are you gonna do? And also, like, he's always had that walkout song, by the way.
Yeah, it's just he was blowing.
It's just that people didn't. People just never really focused. And now all of a sudden, oh my god, no one can have a song. Enter Sandman. That's it.
No, I think also too, like, the Spanish song, whatever, Puerto Rican song, like that makes sense, for him,
Right.
But it's just like I just feel like there just doesn't need to be trumpets. That just seems like a weird part of it that I just don't quite.
It's all trumpets. What do you want? It's dope trumpets. Have you heard it?
You know what they should do? Actually, they
What
should
should
have
they
a
do?
live mariachi band when he walks in.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they should have them like the band run on with them to the field.
And then free margaritas for everybody if he converts the save.
Wow, dude, that'd be crazy. Which is quite often, by the way, converts to save.
Yeah, I mean, this run. I mean, how do you explain it? Has he done anything differently other than hone in mentally?
Yeah, I mean, he talked about some mechanics, in terms of getting over the ball a little bit more. But I mean, what I said last year, and he did kind of allude to it a little bit, was a lot of it was a mental issue. It was a mental block in terms of going in there in the high pressure situation and not feeling confident in your fastball. And of course, him developing that slider has helped a lot because now he can, change up these pitches and he can feel confident. Like, hey, I know if I throw a slider here, it'll be a strike. And then he'll be thinking I'm throwing a slider and I'll have more confidence in my fastball because he's not expecting it. They're not sitting fastball. And again, mechanically, that couple changes, couple tweaks he's made has only upped his confidence even more. And I mean, the ceiling is pretty high for Edwin Diaz right now. It's pretty crazy. But for power, precision, the emotions, Edwin Diaz possessed with Mariano Rivera pitching spirit. Wow, dude,
man. I mean, prefer usually hits on the head, but
But you haven't been watching him though. Do you see? He does have the passion.
No. Listen.
No,
he's having one of the best closer seasons I've seen in the last 5 years, but you can't compare anybody to Mariano Rivera. You can't do it. And prefer is putting the proverbial cart in front of the horse. I'm sorry. But
what?
Cart in front of the horse. That just means getting ahead of yourself. You know what I mean? Like Edwin Diaz can have an historic season this year, but yeah, maybe if he pitches for another 15 years and the Mets win 6 World Series, then maybe we'll talk about Mariano Rivera. But I mean, right now, the guy's got 200 career saves, and what is this? His 7th year in the big leagues? Like, let's pump the brakes. I mean, his ERA is only 2.99 for his career. Obviously, this year's going great. And I think one thing that really stands out to me as to why he's having success here, not that he's really struggled with walks too much, over the course of his career, but 96-14 strike to walk ratio, literally averaging just a tick over 2 strikeouts per inning. I mean,
wow.
That's heavy duty.
Crazy, dude. That is really heavy duty. I think, let's see how he does in the postseason is really what I'm worried about.
And how about last year? 89 strikeouts, 62 innings. He has 96 strikeouts and 48 1/3 this year.
Fire.
I mean, that's really taking it to the next level.
It really is.
3 home runs allowed, which he did allow last year, but obviously that hasn't been really any time recently. And then last year, 9 hit by pitches. This year, only 1. So I think that kind of bit him a little bit last year. So he's avoided that as well.
It was classic, and it happened, dude. I swear to God, out of those 9 hit by pitches, I want to say 6 of them were like first pitch.
Yeah,
of the inning.
Just like
got away from him.
What are you doing?
Nerves. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
My mother. Good morning, guys. And then my mother with the proverbial, take it easy, Brian.
Oh my God. Sounds like a Met take.
Oh gosh. But anyway, Trevor May came into the 9th, almost blew it, by the way. He had 3 hits, 2 earned runs. Trevor May obviously getting off of the IL. I think he had maybe 2 or 3 outings before this day. And it's like, understand. I think the first guy got up, struck out swinging, and then gave up back-to-back singles.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe there was no walks. And then struck out the next 2, but obviously the singles had scored a couple guys here. 27 pitches thrown, 16 were strikes. Trevor May, he was really never that great, I thought, to begin with. And obviously the injury, coming back from the injury is taking some time, it seems. So, I mean, for him, again, I mean, I guess Buck wants to test it out to see what May could do to close your spot in a big spot. And I mean, I guess his outing last night was telling because I never really thought it was that great.
Yeah.
He was that great to begin with. I think last year he had like a good run,
Mhm.
like a very
And
good
then
run to
just-
start off, and then significant drop off for the rest of the season. Everybody came back this year, injury early sort of deal, out for a while. Obviously, this season, I guess not really a whole lot to see, but I mean, at this point, like, do you want to risk throwing Trevor May out there in the ninth inning? Like, not really. I don't want to risk that.
Your only other option is Jolie Rodriguez.
Yeah, I guess so. Or fucking Nogasek. But yeah, I mean, I guess, overall, I would say a great win. Obviously, these past couple of games have been tough with the rain delays because it kind of screws up our pitching and our bullpen. I mean, think about it with Carrasco 2 days ago, he went 2 innings because of the rain delay, and then they had to use bullpen guys for the rest of the game. So it kind of sucks that, again, here, we used 3 guys out of the bullpen. I think with Carrasco, we used 4 guys out of the bullpen. So, kind of tough, but obviously DeGrom on the mound tonight, so I'm not, that worried.
Yeah. And then just, around the league last night, we talked about it before the show. Both of us hitting it on the head, 7-1 combined. You do the perfect 4-0. I went 3-1. But the Phillies 1-0 loss. Ranger Suarez dominating. So that's just one of those things. I mean, there's not really too much you could do about that. So all that being said, you pick up an additional game to move to 15-8. I go to 13-10. And then also I just noticed on here, Jordan Montgomery, yet another gem for the Cardinals. Seems like that's been a match made in heaven. 5 2/3, 6 hits, 1 run, no walks, 8 strikeouts. I think he's only allowed 1 run through his first 3 starts as a Cardinal. So you would think that he's there for the long haul. So we had that. We had Ohtani having 4 hits, but the Angels losing 11-7 to the Mariners. And then the Blue Jays getting off the schneid 6-1 over the Orioles. And really, I mean, other than that, I mean, we saw Gonsolin pick up his 15th win of the year.
Oh, yeah.
That leads the majors. Carlos Rodon with a great start against Arizona, but his offense doesn't help him out. They lose 3-2. And then we saw Dylan Cease's, or no, that was the night before. I'm mistaken here. Michael Kopech get outdueled by Valdez last night. So the White Sox lose once again, falling to 61-57. Valdez picking up his 12th victory of the year. And that's really, it in terms of last night. I think a slightly reduced slate today, Thursday. I imagine there's some afternoon games. But let's take a look at what we have there. And I have a feeling where you want to begin. So if you would, sir.
Yeah, so we got 9.
We got 4.
We got 9 games today. Yeah.
4.
Yes. Wow, a lot of games. Dude, you can just peel off work early today and watch baseball all day.
Yeah, right.
And great games too, I would say, But obviously, I mean, the greatest game of them all tonight is going to be Mets at Atlanta. We have Jacob DeGrom, on the mound against Max Fried. And obviously, Jacob DeGrom, the injury. You talk about him kind of coming back. Obviously, not a whole lot to look at in terms of sample size, but he is 2-0 since he's been back. 1.62 ERA. Over 16 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 6 hits. He's gotten 28 Ks, 1 walk, 1 home run given up. That home run was given up against the Braves. Was his first start, actually. We went 5 2/3. Gave up. It was only 2. It was a 2-run homer, and he had 12 Ks. And that was his first start back, where they were limiting him in terms of his length in the game here. Obviously, his next one up was against the Phillies, I think.
Yeah.
Where he went 6 innings, same deal. They had 10 Ks, or whatever. I forget how many, but anyway, I mean, against the Braves, obviously 5 2/3, 12 Ks. I mean, he was dealing against them, and I would imagine he's even more comfortable now. I don't care what the Braves bats have been doing. I don't care how hot they've been. They're going to play something a little different here with Jacob DeGrom. They had issues with Scherzer. They're going to have more issues with DeGrom. Especially against Max Fried. Obviously, he's a great pitcher as well. I want to see the last time what his line was. The last time he pitched against the Mets at the beginning of the month, 6 innings, 4 earned runs. Sorry, 6 innings, 2 earned runs, only 5 Ks, a walk, 6 hits. So, I mean, decent line, I suppose. Mets ended up winning that game, obviously 6-2, as they kind of went into their bullpen and I guess hit them up a little bit. So, I think, I mean, look at the Mets. I know the Braves bats were hot. I mean, the Mets bats last night were pretty hot as well from the usual suspects. Pete Alonso has certainly been having a little bit of an issue in terms of hitting right now. Last night he looked a little foolish.
Mental?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just in his head a little bit. He gets behind in the count quickly, and then it's just like he's just swinging at everything at that point. Because he swung at one pitch, it was way low outside. It was the classic. You stretch for it with the one hand, and you try to fucking like you're not doing that. And then he swings at a high fastball out of the zone too. So I think maybe he'll settle down a little bit, get a couple hits in here, maybe a little 3 for 5 action with a dinger. I would like to see that. By the way, Buffer comes in hot with the weather report. Atlanta weather, mostly cloudy today. No rain. Love to hear that.
High humidity,
Obviously, I would think high humidity.
The ground might hit 104 on the gun.
Oh, my God, dude. And you know what? It's going to be great with no rain. He'll have all the grip he needs. It's going to be awesome. I would say give me the Mets here. Let's call it 5-2. Right?
All right. So that would be big to split this.
Splitting the series. They have not lost a series, by the way, against a divisional opponent all season.
Looking to avoid that tonight
in
Atlanta.
Baby.
So
Come on.
obviously we know where I'm going here. Yankees opening up that 4-game set regarding the Yankees, the Blue Jays, and I mentioned Barrios on the mound, and we've really talked in depth in terms of his struggles this year. 5.61 ERA, and also besides that, 122 innings pitched. He's given up 138 hits, so really been a hit machine. He's never really been too much of a strikeout guy. 108 strikeouts, 122 innings, 31 walks, and then 26 home runs allowed in 122 innings. Like he's Andrew Heaney for the Yankees last year.
Wow.
So I just feel like, for a lineup that really wants to have a consistent effort here and keep this stretch going after putting 8 on the board last night, I think this is a match made in heaven. And I also just feel, pretty confident that Frankie Montas, we saw the debacle in St. Louis, pitch better in Boston. And then, this game, his first Yankee Stadium start, I think he's really going to have a great performance. And Aaron Judge, he hasn't homered since Friday. They mentioned that on the broadcast last night. I think, he's going to hit his 47th home run of the year. And I want to say also Rizzo will hit his 29th. And I think we're going to see Oswaldo Cabrera pick up 2 hits tonight, 2 for Florial. LeMahieu back in the lineup. I think he's going to go 3 for 5. Yankees 10 runs tonight versus only 3 for the Blue Jays. Montas 7 innings, 2 earned, 10 strikeouts, 4 hits, no walks, as the Yankees pick up their 74th victory of the season. Finally win back-to-back games. Been a couple weeks, so a job well done in the Bronx tonight. The good times are here to stay.
By the way, Buffer says Mets lose tonight. 6-8 bullpen killing the Mets fans.
Now, how do you feel, Tony? Because I know obviously I've said I understand that at times where Buffer's coming from with the Mets, just kind of scarred from the past. But at the same time, I don't deal well with fellow Yankee fans that, like I've mentioned this to you before, but where they just kind of want to call it just because of a bad stretch. And I just feel like, I don't know why people sometimes think that like negativity is how they need to act, and that's going to change some result on the field. Because I just feel like at the end of the day, if I don't believe in my team and I think they have no chance, then why am I watching?
Yeah. And yeah, I would agree with that, Brian, and I would disagree with Buffer because I feel like Givens has shown some bright spots here. He'll be available out of the bullpen. Seth Lugo will be. Diaz, still use him. Why not? I feel like we have, obviously Ottavino you want to be a little skeptical with because we just used him yesterday. Trevor May, you don't want to use him. Again, Nogasek, you probably don't really want to use either because he's not good. But I mean, hey, it's Jacob deGrom's pitching. He's going to give you length. You're not going to have to use much bullpen. I'm not really that worried about that. And for you to say like the Mets can give up 8 runs tonight, no fucking shot.
Yeah, I mean,
No
I
way.
feel like worst case scenario, DeGrom gives you 6 or 7 innings and allows 3 runs. I guess the only way I could really see them running into trouble tonight is if they don't score themselves.
Right.
But Max Fried's pretty good, but I don't think the Braves bullpen is unhittable by any stretch of the imagination. So I think they got to do their work late in the game, probably offensively.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think it's very possible.
Yeah, definitely.
My pick.
Yeah,
I believe. Okay, I'll go with a relatively toss-up pick, I suppose. I'll take the Padres tonight. You know why, Brian? Because they're playing the Nationals, and right now Juan Soto leads both the Nationals and the Padres in terms of home runs, which is pretty funny. And I feel like you Darvish on the mound for the Padres. I feel like probably one of the more confident pitchers. I think that the Padres have. I understand Musgrove is big, but I feel like Darvish. I mean, I don't know, dude. I feel like I'm more confident in him than Musgrove.
Yeah, and he really, after signing that big contract with the Cubs, has really carved out, a nice second half of his career here. We saw him dominate with the Rangers, struggle with home runs at times, but he's been really good in San Diego.
Yeah, which is great for them. I mean, they have a really good rotation, a solid core team. It is unfortunate we talked about the Tatis stuff, but I feel like Darvish is going to be fanning national players left and right.
Camera running out of battery?
Yeah.
Okay.
How'd you know?
I saw it on my feed here.
Yeah.
No, I just didn't need, sorry to interrupt. But.
That's okay, dude. I would say Anibal Sanchez for the Nationals. I mean, his ERA is a tick above 7.
He did throw a perfect game at one point.
He did throw a perfect game at one point. It is crazy to think about.
It's just crazy.
It was just crazy. But Anibal gives you 4 innings, giving up 6 runs. I would say San Diego breezes into a victory 9-3.
All right. I'm going to go with the first game of the day here. Rockies at the Cardinals, finishing out that series. Sentenzella on the mound today versus Adam Wainwright. I just feel like Cardinals, a lot better team here, and I think they'll get over him, get all over Sentenzella. Early on in this game, I could see Goldschmidt and Arenado homering. I think they put up 8 runs. Wainwright, complete game, giving up 3 runs, and the Cardinals win 8-3.
Love it, dude. All right, give me tonight. You mentioned Andrew Heaney tonight, and he's starting for the Dodgers.
Damn, I wanted that game.
Really?
Yeah. No, but you got it.
No, I'm curious. Who are you gonna take
after you? Or no, we'll do it at the same time. But this is your pick, just so you know. But I want it to be like no one's like saying something different. So 1, 2, 3.
Brewers. Yeah. Dude.
All right.
I mean, Corbin Burns on the mound. It's nice. It's poetic.
Burns is good.
It's poetic about Heaney. But in reality, he's gotten a few starts under his belt. He hasn't gone more than 4 innings. I think his last start was 3 innings, gave up 3 earned runs or something like that. He's not a starter. We've seen that in prior seasons. In the season with him with the Yankees, he's not great. He's not a great starter. He's not. So in reality, I feel like Corbin Burns is going to have a decent enough start. He has the capabilities of giving you, consistently 6 innings, 7 innings. And then, of course, I think Heaney's going to get hit early. He's going to hit it often. I don't think he's going to last more than 3. I think he's going to give up more than 3. And I think the Brewers are going to kind of, hit up early, kind of coast through the rest of the game. Again, I mean, the Dodgers bullpen, I mean, how confident are you in their bullpen, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, you traded out the heart attack waiting to happen in Kenley Jansen for Craig Kimbrell.
Right.
So, I mean, you could argue Kimbrell's worse.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like, and Kimbrell's been, I guess, kind of decent, but still, most of their power in terms of pitching comes from their starters. And they don't really have that with Andrew Heaney tonight. So, let's say Brewers win that one. I'll say 5-3.
We got the Astros at the White Sox, finishing out their series. Garcia versus Giolito. Giolito been one of the better pitchers in the American League the last couple of years, but 4.92 ERA this year. We know all about La Russa and kind of the joke that the White Sox have been, only 4 games over 500, under 500 for a lot of this season. Astros clearing away the better team. And Garcia, that ERA has definitely ticked up over 4 here. But I think representative outing today, call it 6 innings, 2 earned, 4 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. And I think Alvarez and Altuve go yard. Astros 6, White Sox 3.
Wow. All right, my next game, my final game, right? We're doing 4. Oh man. I guess Texas. Dane Dunning, former White Sox.
Woodward canned. I mean, some momentum.
Yeah. I like that actually. Why not? Let's go with the White Sox. I feel like Dane Dunning, decent. Obviously having not much of a great season, I suppose. He's 2-6 in the season. ERA is a tick above 4. 118 innings he's pitched this season, get up 116 hits, 104 Ks, 47 walks, 12 home runs. I guess struggling with the control. I mean, 47 walks, I feel, yeah. But nonetheless, the last 3 starts have come away with a W. Chicago, 7 innings, no earned runs. LA, 6 innings, 2 earned runs. Nothing really having, I would say, averaging about 5 Ks, it seems, per 9 innings, probably for the season. I guess with the A's, lack of offense, Zach Logue on the mound. I mean, give me a break here, dude. Who's a young dude, 26. Last game against Texas, 2 1/3, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, a walk. Texas got his number. Let's go. Give me Texas here. That game they won 11-4. That's crazy. Give me 7-5, a little closer. Why not?
All right. And for my last game here, I'm gonna go with the Rays. Obviously, coming off a tough loss to the Yankees. They got Luis Patino on the mound. He came over in the Blake Snell package from the Padres.
Nice.
Royals going undecided here, but I think the Rays, they're motivated after what happened yesterday. And I think Harold Ramirez coming back from injury, I think that's big. He could play all over the field, has shown some decent power and a good contact rate. So I think, Patino, 6 innings, 8 strikeouts, 1 earned run. Royals get kind of shellacked here. I'm going to say 7-2 as they fall to the Rays.
Wow.
So that should be a busy afternoon. Most of these games tipping off in the day. We do have a couple night games. Obviously, the Yankees and the Mets, as well as the
most important
Red Sox, Pirates at 7.
How do you feel about the Orioles right now, dude?
Orioles, I think, are good, and I think a very favorable matchup here against the Cubs. But I think they are a wild card series sweep or loss. They don't. They're a year too early.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Adley Rutschman will be great.
Yeah.
Cedric Mullen's been a little disappointing this year. I think they're going to add guys come the offseason.
Santander's been decent.
Hayes has been all right.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think, add another bat, add some more pitching. They'll be good. Felix Bautista, I like out of the bullpen. So that'll be interesting. And, like we said yesterday, hopefully we get Yankee and Mets victories today. And,
yeah, bud.
Can't wait to talk about it all tomorrow. And one more leaderboard update here.
Josh Donaldson is probably still going to be batting 4th.
I guess they listened. Troy Merritt now atop the leaderboard, 300 through 7, tied with Keegan Bradley.
Wow.
At 300 par. So not the usual names at the top, but we will keep you posted and have a full update in that regard tomorrow. We got the week 2 of the preseason kicking off tonight, a few games, and before we know it, we'll have that opening week. And we know we're all excited for that. I think it's the first Sunday night football game might be the Bucks Cowboys, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice, dude.
So some good matchups early. We know obviously the Jets opening up, hosting the Ravens, and possibly the Flacco reunion. I feel like you're starting to get a little excited about football now.
Yeah, a little bit. Wings first week.
Wings will be nice. And I really think, even if you just join a free public league or whatever, I just think you could benefit fantasy football team. I think it would get you going a little bit.
Definitely would.
Been a while for you, or
For football? Never.
Wow.
For football.
Used to do baseball though.
Hockey.
Never
did baseball either.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, interesting stuff. And actually, one last thing, my friend Corey, who you met a couple weeks ago, was texting me last night. I didn't realize. So Kadri is still a free agent.
Yeah, hasn't been picked up.
I mean, he must be by far the best guy out there, or no?
Probably, but I'm sure he wants a lot. Is the problem?
Oh, and then teams are tight on cap space.
Yeah,
and Colorado doesn't have any room.
I think they're trying to make an agreement, but I mean, again, Kadri is asking for a lot. So,
but maybe if he can't get what he wants, he'll settle for a 1-year deal with Colorado.
Yeah, probably stick with him. I mean, Colorado's going to have a good shot at winning again. So,
I mean, I think if he really wants to win, why doesn't he just sign whatever they can give him with the Rangers? No.
Oh yeah, obviously.
But they would have to trade, like, if they're completely maxed out cap wise after that deal for that center.
I would imagine they're pretty close to it. So Kadri would definitely put them over the edge. Like,
yeah. But hey, we'll see what happens, right?
I know, it'd be interesting to see where he goes.
But yeah, hockey around the corner. And other than that, anything else you got today?
No.
Other than it's been fun.
It's been all right. No, it was a great episode. Love the episode.
Yeah.
Great sound bites, dude. I was early this morning. I came in, put the sound bites in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was good.
Yeah,
There's
the
a lot.
bites
There's
are
a lot of
coming.
notes. Oh yeah.
I think you need a backup board just to fit all the bites.
Dude, you know what? I had to we still have to swap some out because there's still more.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I had a little bit of a panic attack. Was that from yesterday?
2 days ago.
And that was
in regards to I don't know what, honestly.
Maybe regarding the Yankees. Maybe Zach Wilson.
Yeah, maybe. No, maybe
it could be.
Yeah.
It could be. Okay.
Complete inconfidence.
Everybody loves when I get fired up.
Everyone does, dude.
But yeah, so hopefully, we'll have some good stuff to recap with everybody tomorrow. But once again, we really appreciate everybody tuning in and continuing to comment, like, and subscribe, as well as check out those archives on the YouTube page, as well as the summer collection, downtimetv.com. But I want everybody to enjoy their day, enjoy the games. Let's get 2 more New York wins tonight, and we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do.